and thank you everyone for attending this webinar on Aldimines as performance enhancer additives in one component and two component PU sealants and coatings. But before I go in details, let me introduce myself. My name is Tushar Trivedi and I work as International Sales and Applications Manager at Incurres Limited. I am with Incurres since 7 years and my main focus is to provide formulation advice and technical support to our new and existing customers on different application aspects to provide the solution to their problem and to also explain how to achieve the best performance from Incurres's products. Just to give you my education background, I've done my master's in paints and coatings and have 16 years of experience working in this industry. In today's webinar, I will be introducing Incurres as a company and our product ranges. Then I'll explain the chemistry of Aldimines and how they work, that is their functions. Then we'll discuss on some common defects associated with the polyurethane sealants and the solution, and also how to improve the cure in two-component polyurethane systems. And there will be a question answer session at the end of this webinar. So now let me introduce Incurres. So Incurres was founded in 1986 as industrial copolymer. Incurres Limited has rapidly gained prominence as a specialist chemicals manufacturer. Our main R&D and manufacturing site is located in Preston in Lancashire, which is northwest part of the United Kingdom. We manufacture 4 main product ranges. So we have oxazolidine, like Incozol technology, which is a versatile additive for polyurethane coatings. Then we have Dispures, which are our water-based polyurethane dispersions, which are used in wide variety of applications in plastics and also in waterproofing and flooring application. Then we also have amine curing agents like epoxy curing agents, amine hardeners, and they are mainly recommended for the flooring application. And then finally, the 4th product range we have is Aldimines. These high performance materials are sold globally to producers of coatings and sealants, and which are used in wide variety of different applications. Please have a look on the video, which will provide you glimpses of our R&D and also our manufacturing facility. I would like to provide you a quick update on the brand name. So as I was introducing the new product range, I would also like to let you know that we have a new brand name for our Aldimine technology. So the Aldimine product range will now be called Aldires. Some of you might know already or might have used Incozol BH. Incozol BH will be now renamed as Aldires BH. Whereas Incurres CS6001 will be called Aldires A. So now let's go into the detail and let me introduce you to Aldimine chemistry and how does it work and what are the functions. Aldimine is a blocked amine which will react with the moisture to give you an aldehyde and an amine. It is a versatile additive which prevents moisture ingress and it accelerates the cure for one component and two component PU systems. Now, what are the functions? So Aldimine has 2 main functions. So the first and the foremost and the important function Aldimine has is that it acts as a moisture scavenger. As shown in this reaction, Aldimine will react with the water in presence of the acid catalyst, and this will generate amine and an aldehyde. Now, this reaction of aldimine with water is a preferential reaction. So that means that it will react first with water before isocyanate in your system will react with water. And in that way, it will prevent the generation of carbon dioxide gas, and it will prevent the gassing, carbon dioxide gassing issues. The other main function basically is that it also acts as a latent hardener. So the same reaction, aldimine will react with the water, and it will generate amine and an aldehyde. Now the amine, which is in here, will then react with your isocyanate, which is present in your either a pre-polymer or in any other like isocyanate trimer. That will react with amine, and it will generate the polyurea reaction. And in this way, it will provide you better curing, that is faster curing, and also it will improve your tensile performance of your final product. Let me discuss on some of the defects you would have seen as a PU formulator. I'm sure as a PU formulator, the main defect you would have seen, or one of the defect you would have seen, is bubbles and pinholes in the polyurethane sealants and the coatings, particularly in the one component and two component PU systems. Now let's find out where this problem comes on which kind of formulation. As a formulator, you would have definitely seen this defect on a high build film applications like one component facade sealants or elastic bonding adhesive, or even general sealing and bonding compounds. Because these products are applied, the film thickness is really high, and that's where you see the problem. The other issue or other defect, or the same defect, you will see it in a different application, which is one component MDI systems, like thick film application like waterproofing and balconies. So that's where you will see this bubbles or the defect basically in your final product. Now most of you will be aware that the main reason you see this defect or the bubbles or pinholes in the coating is because of this reaction. So isocyanate will react with the water, and it will generate carbon dioxide gas. So this is the main reason or the cause you see this problem. And the moisture can come from anywhere. So the moisture can come from your raw materials, that is your pigment fillers or polyols, or it can also come from an atmospheric moisture. So as soon as the isocyanate reacts with the moisture, it will generate the carbon dioxide, and thus in turn your final product will give you bubbles and gassing basically in the system. So now what is the solution? The solution basically is to use a moisture scavenger. So in this case, incurers would recommend to use Aldires BH as a moisture scavenger. So the role of a moisture scavenger is to prevent the generation of the carbon dioxide gas and the problems associated with the moisture contamination. Actually, how does it work? So the reaction of Aldires BH with moisture is faster than one of isocyanate reacting with water, as explained earlier, and this is accelerated by using an acid catalyst. So the Aldires BH preferentially reacts with water over isocyanate, and thus it prevents and uses as a moisture scavenger, and it prevents the generation of carbon dioxide gas. Some of the applications, as I discussed earlier, like one component facade sealants or joint sealants, they have to meet various requirements depending on the function and the location of the respective joint, like joint sealants. The main purpose of the joint sealing is generally to prevent any moisture ingress or water ingress or chemical ingress or even smoke. So it also has to provide thermal and sound insulation to the building, and also it has to enhance the visual appearance of the whole construction and the whole building. So without the moisture scavenger, the one component PU sealant, as you've seen in the photo, it will give you the carbon dioxide bubbles, and thus will not withstand the harsh environmental condition. It will lose the elasticity, and thus will be prone to air, water, and chemical ingress. Whereas by incorporating Aldires BH in the final product, the final product will not have any carbon dioxide gas or any bubbles, as you can see from the photo, and thus it will have better elasticity, and it also will withstand better thermal and structural movements, that is the expansion and contraction which the structure will see depending on the weather conditions, and thus will enhance the visual appearance of the construction and also the building. So this is a typical guide formulation for one component PU sealant using MDI pre-polymer. So in this case, we have used Desmosil M280 from Covestro as an MDI pre-polymer. I would like to actually mention here that all the raw materials which are used to manufacture the one component polyurethane sealant are moisture sensitive, and thus the manufacturing should be carried out in an enclosed vessel and with vacuum or nitrogen. You can also see here we have used oleic acid as a catalyst. So this oleic acid, actually the main function of the catalyst is to accelerate the reaction between the Aldires BH and the water, so that it preferentially reacts with the water first before the isocyanate reacts with the water, and thus prevents the carbon dioxide gas. The other benefit actually also is that it will also have better skinning time, that is curing, and also it will have better tear strength and tensile performance. Now please have a look on the video here where we have added Aldires BH in the one component PU sealant, where it shows the flexibility and the elongation of the one component polyurethane sealant using Aldires BH. There is no sound anyway, so this will just show you the flexibility aspect of it. So as you can see, the elasticity, as you can see from the video, it will improve the contraction and expansion, so it will withstand the different weather condition, and it's suitable for different climatic weathers. To explain the benefits of Aldires BH. So the main benefits of using Aldires BH in one component PU sealants, particularly for the movement joints or in the floor joints. Aldires BH works as a moisture scavenger, and thus it will prevent the generation of carbon dioxide bubbles. Due to no defect in the sealant, the final product will withstand the thermal and the structural movement, as I explained earlier, and thus will provide very good elasticity, excellent weatherability, good chemical resistance, excellent adhesion, and it will also provide high tear strength. So the main features of Aldires BH is that, as explained earlier, it will prevent the generation of carbon dioxide gas, and thus will provide you the bubble-free and defect-free polyurethane sealants and coatings. It is suitable for use in aromatic isocyanates. Particularly, I would recommend MDI pre-polymers, which are widely used in one component PU sealants, and also will provide good storage stable one component system. The other benefit also is that it has a very low viscosity, and so it can be used in high solid systems. So now let's discuss on how to improve the curing in the two component PU system. So we have looked into Aldires BH for one component polyurethane sealant system and one component polyurethane waterproofing roof coating application. Now let's move on to the two component polyurethane coating and how to improve the cure in this type of systems. So the applications where you would see two component polyurethane coatings and where you require faster cure is in the flooring application, like industrial flooring or car park, where there is an immense pressure on the applicator to finish the application in time, so that maybe they might be doing the application overnight, and in the morning they might have there will be car, as an example, car park, there will be cars coming on as well. So there is immense pressure on of time for the applicator, and so the product which you sell should be faster curing. Now, so where would you see what are the causes of the slow curing? No one would like to actually wait for hours for paint to dry, and particularly in the flooring application where the time is so precious. So let's see the main reasons why do you see the slow curing. The first cause, or the main cause, I would say, is the temperature. So if the temperature is low in winter condition, then the curing will be slower. Then if there is humidity or moisture either in the substrate or atmospheric humidity, then also you will see poor curing or low curing. And also if the application thickness is too high, like self-leveling products, then also you will see that the curing is lower. Now the solution basically is to use an accelerator, but an accelerator which actually provides you curing and also other benefits. So here in this case we recommend Aldires A. Aldires A is a bis Aldimine, and it is specially designed to work to accelerate the cure, and also it works as a moisture scavenger in two component polyurethane systems. The mechanism is very similar as I've shown earlier, that is with Aldires BH, that is the Aldimine will react with the water. So Aldires A in this case will react with the water, and it will give you amine and an aldehyde, and this amine will then react with your polyurea, with your isocyanate to give you polyurea reaction. The main difference actually with Aldires A compared to the Aldires BH is that Aldires A is a very small molecule compared to the BH, and thus it is recommended for two component polyurethane systems only, whereas Aldires BH is recommended for one component polyurethane systems. Due to the chemistry and the reactivity of Aldires A, because this Aldires A is meant to accelerate the cure, it is not recommended for one component system, as it will not provide you the one component storage stability. Thus Aldires A is recommended for two component polyurethane primers or self-leveling or any two component polyurethane systems. So here is an example. So what we did in the lab, actually we developed a two component polyurethane primer as a fast curing two component PU primer. Now as a part A, we took aromatic pre-polymer. Now the pre-polymer we have took was an MDI based pre-polymer. One was Desmodur E21 from Covestro, and the other one was Suprasec 2008 from Huntsman. The primer basically was done as a part A was an MDI pre-polymer, and the part B was Aldires A as an accelerator, which will give you the primer product. So the testing, when we mixed this product, the testing was carried out at low temperature, that is at 5 degrees centigrade. Here is the test results. So we used in the stoichiometric ratio of 1.7 to 1. So 1.7 parts of your part A, that is your MDI pre-polymer, to 1 part of Aldires A. And as you can see from the result, Suprasec A 2008, it did not cure at all. Even after 24 hours, it was just tacky. Whereas as soon as we added Aldires A as a part B into Suprasec 2008, it increased, it reduced the curing basically, and it cured within 30 minutes. In the same fashion, we tried Desmodur E21. E21 cured in around 4 hours, but with Aldires A, it only took 20 minutes. So it was very fast reaction, and it was achieved even at low temperature as 5 degrees. Now this is the guide formulation which I would like to show, where we have used the Suprasec 2008 as an MDI pre-polymer along with Aldires A as an Aldimine crosslinker or accelerator. Now the benefit of using Aldires A is that you can alter the amount of Aldires A in a different weather condition. So for winter temperature, you can increase the level of Aldires A, and you can find the right balance of pot life versus cure. Or if you want to increase the pot life, for example, of your system, then you can reduce the amount of Aldires A. So you can play around as a formulator in using this aldirez A in a different proportion to achieve your final requirements. The another application I would like to actually discuss is here where we have used aldirez A and can be used in the system is the two component polyurethane self-leveling clear coat. Here we have used a combination of Incozol 2 and Aldimine accelerator, which is aldirez A. You would find the information on Incozol 2 or oxazolidine moisture scavenger on the Special Chem website. So we have a whole center on oxazolidine on Special Chem website where you would find more information on Incozol 2. And we also have some webinars on Incozol oxazolidine products. Now, the combination, we have used this combination particularly in this system because this was applied at a very thick film, that is at a nearly 3 to 4 mm thick film application, and there was not a single bubble or gassing even at that thick applied self-leveling clear coat. So just to give you some features of aldirez A and benefits, so the main feature and also it's a main benefit actually is that you can use aldirez A as an accelerator and thus it will provide you the faster cure even at low temperature. The other benefit is also is that it also enables bubble-free curing by preventing the carbon dioxide gas, and thus it will provide excellent aesthetic appearance. The viscosity is very low, and thus it can be used in high solids, low VOC systems. So to summarize, I would like to provide you an update which I have already mentioned earlier, that the new brand name for our Aldimine range. So the Aldimine range will now be called aldirez Aldimines. So the Incozol BH will be now renamed as aldirez BH, whereas the CS6001 will be renamed as aldirez A. So to quickly review on the webinar, Aldimines are versatile additives for one component and two component PU systems. So let's discuss first of all on aldirez BH. Aldirez BH works as a moisture scavenger and thus prevents the carbon dioxide bubbles by reacting preferentially with moisture before the isocyanate reaction, and are particularly recommended in one component PU sealants and one component polyurethane waterproofing application. Aldirez BH also improves the elasticity in the one component PU sealants and thus will withstand the harsh weather conditions. Now moving on to aldirez A. Aldirez A works on as an accelerator to provide fast cure even at a very low temperature, and it also works as a moisture scavenger by preventing the CO2 gassing. Aldirez A is also recommended for the two component polyurethane applications like polyurethane primers and for two component polyurethane self-leveling.